Appreciate you all joining us today. As was stated, it's a short week, July 4th week, so hopefully everybody's looking forward to a long weekend. We wanted to make sure that we could host this webinar and get this information out. This is webinar two of two for the day today for launching our brand new customer portal, which we're super excited about. My name is Cody Lopez. I'm Secured Tech's current Director of Operations, and myself and quite a few others who are here with us today and several who aren't here have been working really, really hard on putting this together for you all for quite some time now. This has been a dream for Secured Tech to provide a better platform and a better experience with richer and more helpful and contextual data for the folks that we work with for quite a while. And we've gone through a couple different iterations of what this could look like and how we wanted it to function. And we're really, really excited to roll this out to you all today. We're proud of what we've built. So um, there are a good handful of folks who are here for the noon session. So a couple things from a housekeeping perspective before we jump in. So we're going to ask that everybody keep themselves on mute just for the duration of the webinar. If you have any questions or thoughts or concerns as we go throughout, please feel free to throw your questions in the chat. We have a couple Secured Tech representatives who are going to be answering questions in the chat live if they're able. If they aren't, we will come to those questions at the end once we finish the demonstration and try to answer those things live. So please feel free to either throw your questions there, or if you'd like to save them for the end, you're more than welcome to. We just want to make sure we have time to get through everything for everybody. Um, we are recording this webinar and we are going to share a link with everyone afterwards so that you can watch it on demand. If you have team members who couldn't be here, you're welcome to share it with them. That way they can see it. But with that, we will go ahead and get started. All right. So first and foremost, as stated, we have a brand new customer portal. We're super excited. We are working right now with Google and Microsoft to get single sign-on set up. At the moment, the only way to sign in is to set an email address with a password. But just to say this from the start, we are using a third-party authentication application to make sure that it's safe. So it'll be validated against Clerk as the third-party application, but then it will also be validated against our internal system to make sure that whoever is logging in is supposed to log in and is supposed to have access and exactly what they're supposed to have access to. But the page is really simple. Once you're ready, you'll be able to come and sign in. The first thing you'll see once you sign into the portal is going to be handled based on your user role. And we'll go over user roles here in a little bit. But no matter what, the default page is the dashboard for all of our users. So the dashboard is intended to give you kind of quick insights into useful information. We have a handful of widgets here that as we continue to roll out new features, will feature more and more information. Right now, we're focused on our core repair customer group. And so that was the first experience that we wanted to roll out and work to replace our legacy repair software. And so when you log into this dashboard, you're going to see a bunch of widgets. You've got quick stats, upcoming items, notifications, a couple quick actions, and then recent activity. These quick stats, again, are going to be updated as we roll out new data sets that you all are able to access. But right now it's focusing on repairs. So you can see how many open and closed repair tickets you have. Notifications as these upcoming items and recent activity changes take place, they will add into this notifications card as well as appear in this notifications bell in the top right corner. And that way you all can see any recent changes or things that are happening that you may want to know about. While you're on this page, you are able to reorganize it however you see fit. So if you want widgets to be elsewhere, you can move those around and put them in your preferred location. If you don't want any of these widgets because the information there is not helpful for you or it feels cluttered, you can also click this customize button and you can turn these on and off so that you don't see them at all if you're not interested in what it's offering. Whatever settings you set here, including the reorganization and the tabs being filtered on and off, will carry from session to session. So if you sign out and sign back in, you'll still see what you set the last time. And that's individual to the user. Most of the things you see here are going to be clickable, and they're going to take you to wherever the most relevant contextual location is inside the portal. And we'll go through what those look like here soon, but my account will take you to account. New repair ticket will take you to the repairs tab and start a ticket, so on and so forth. Um, Additionally, one thing that you'll notice is in the header on all pages, we have a global search, which right now is dedicated to tickets because that's the first big thing we're rolling out. But you can search ticket numbers in real time, and it will produce those results for you. You can also search serial numbers, and this is a bad example of a serial number. It's too short, but that's what this is. So you can search those, and it will produce results for you real time. Additionally, there will always be this start a repair button, which will take you straight to the new repair request form. So from anywhere in the system, you will be able to click that start a repair. Lastly, the only other thing in this header that will exist on every page is the actual authentication provided by Clerk, and your account, your ability to sign out exists both here and down in the bottom left corner. This is a place where you can update your password. So if you want to come in, change your password, if you'd like to add a headshot or something here, you can do all of that stuff here. And that way Clerk is storing this data and we are not. So that way it can authenticate for you and then validate against our system internally. But that exists there for you. The last thing I'll note on the dashboard is that almost every page you see that has a header like this is going to have an info tooltip directly to the right of it or to the left of it. This is going to give you just a brief overview of what you'll see on each of these pages so that as you or your team members are onboarding to understanding what this looks like and starting to use it, you can get a quick idea of what actually exists on each page. All right, so next thing, repairs. This is obviously the big rollout for us here. So I believe everyone here is an existing repair customer of ours, whether that's ad hoc repairs or ADP covered repairs. So this is intended to replace our legacy repair system with quite a lot of really nice features. So first and foremost, when you enter this page, you're going to get a table of all of your repair tickets. These tickets are paginated, so you can choose to show up to 100 at a time per page, but you can go down to 25 or 50. You'll see a handful of columns that exist here to give you this high level information. So your ticket number, the name of your ticket, the stage it's in, who submitted it, which district or individual school that person is representing, and then the create date of that ticket. You'll notice looking at this table that the column headers all have these nice up and down arrows. That means you can click and sort by the information there, and you can also stack the sorting. So if you'd like to sort first by the create date and then by the company name, so on and so forth, you can do that. By default, it will always sort by the most recently created tickets first. So when you come in here, unless you change this, it will default to the most recently submitted ticket being at the top. In addition to the information on this table, if you don't like something that's here, or if you wish it was organized a different way, you can actually drag these columns by grabbing the header, and you can put them where you want. You also have the ability to expand or shorten or whatever you call that. You can make it wider or less wide, whatever the proper terminology is for that. But you have that capability to kind of create the experience that you're looking for here. Just like on the dashboard, you also have the ability to hide columns. So if there's information that's not relevant to you, if you are a technician and therefore seeing only the tickets that you are submitting and you don't need that submitted by, you can just take that off if that's not helpful for you. And you can always click reset to defaults and it will bring everything right back for you. While you're looking at this page, you have quite a few filters and things that you can run through. So first and foremost, these are the 5 stages for where repairs may sit. So if you're accustomed to Repair Shopper, which is our legacy system, we have quite a few different statuses for things, and some of them are as descriptive as we'd like, and some of them aren't. We wanted to make this a little bit cleaner and easier to follow and understand for you all. So there are 5 stages here. The first one is awaiting device. And so you can see with these cards exactly how many tickets sit in each stage. Awaiting device just means that we don't have your device yet. We've not received it and checked it in to confirm that we're able to complete the repair. Arrived means it's hit our facility, but we've not started repairing it yet. Waiting for parts means we have your device, but we don't have the parts necessary to provide that fix. For any folks who are ADP customers of ours, you know that our habit, our practice is to order the parts that we think we'll need in advance because we know the devices and how many you have and the models and things. So that gives us the ability to prep. So for folks who do ADP with us, we tend to have more parts on hand and can get those out the door faster. Um, Repair in progress just means it's actively going through the repair process. Either a technician or quality control team member have your device. They're working on it, making sure everything is functioning as it's supposed to once the fix is complete. And then ticket closed means your device is on its way back to you or has already landed back to you, and the invoice accompanying that or all of those tickets should be arriving soon if it hasn't already. So you're able to set those filters as desired. You can stack them as well. And you can see here as you update filters, you get these additional tags noting which filters are in place. You can remove those one by one or clear them all. This search bar allows you to search by any text in the subject line or the ticket ID number. So if you know exactly what you're looking for, say you want to find tickets for a specific serial, you can type in that serial number and those will pop up. Or if you have a ticket ID, you can search that and it will pop up as well. Next, we have a date selector. This is based on the create date of the ticket. So if you'd like to find tickets created within a certain window of time, you can set those dates, the from date and the to date, so that you only see tickets created during that time period. So these are all the test tickets as we've been working this out that we've created in June. Additionally, though, we have a quick select. Which is going to allow you to quick select school years, actually dating all the way back to we have migrated historic tickets from our legacy system starting on January 1st, 2023 into our new system. So Repair Shopper, we're going to hold on to that. We will still have that data. If ever for some reason we need to dig back into a ticket from 2022 or 2021. But for those of you who are going to move into this new system with us and continue to do repairs with us, all of your tickets from January 1st, 2023 up to now that were in Repair Shopper will be moving over into the new system with us. These quick select filters allow you to set the date, which is August 1st, 2025, as the quote beginning of the school year, all the way to July 31st, 2026 of the following year. And those are just quick select filters, so you can change those again if you need a specific time frame. But that is just to make it easy for you to find specific tickets from a certain school year. One thing I'll note here in this table that you guys have probably noticed for anyone who is accustomed to submitting repair shopper tickets with us, um, there's a lot of information that goes into very few text blocks. You'll see here in a second the new form for accepting ticket submissions looks a little bit different. But with that comes updated formatting. So every single ticket, except for the historic ones that we've migrated over, those will hold on to their traditional naming, so that to make them easier for you all to find them. But every new ticket that's created directly from this system will follow the same naming convention, which is serial number, device, and then overarching issues that were identified. That way you have a really quick reference to know exactly what this ticket is, which device it's for, and what the problem was. Last but not least, on this table page, as you set these filters, I guess just in general, you'll notice there's an export button here. So there's an info tooltip that goes with this export button. But essentially what this is telling you is the export will give you a spreadsheet file for every single ticket in the table, respective of your filters, but regardless of the pagination. So if you want to get all of your tickets that we have not received devices for example, once you set that filter, you can export. And even if you have 600 tickets that have that information, the export will pull all of that information and give it to you in the format that you see here in this table. So you're able to stack as many filters as you'd like and then export, and it will give you all of that information if you need it. All right, next is the actual action steps. So number one is this new repair ticket form. So when you click in here, you're going to see this pretty simple and straightforward form that you can use to submit repairs, but there's a couple really exciting features here. So number one, Um, you'll notice on the left-hand side here, we have an assets column. Assets represent every device that you have that we have ever worked on or that we have insured with ADP. Um, so every time you add a new asset to the system by submitting a repair ticket for one we've not seen before, or when you undergo an ADP plan with us, we'll import your assets in advance so that all of your assets are preloaded before your plan begins. But this is doing a live reference of all of your serial numbers. So as you start typing them in, it's going to find the one that matches as you narrow that down, and you can select that, and it will pre-fill all the information that we already know about that device. Um, if there is one that doesn't match, for example, we have no record of a serial number in our system that is this, you will be required to identify the manufacturer, the device type, and then there's a couple additional details that you're welcome to give us here if you need that for any record keeping purposes or if you'd just like to provide it. So the device model is a pretty straightforward one. If you are a district that prefers to provide a student ID number or a student name or an end user name of any kind that is tied to your tickets to make it easier for tracking or something, you're welcome to do that. But it's absolutely not a requirement. Additionally, we have a lot of districts who have created a separate profile for us to be able to log into the devices and run a full quality test before we send it back. And we also have some who just provide us individual usernames and passwords as the devices come in the door. And so that is the information that can exist here as well. What you'll notice is if I choose a serial number, let's do a different one just for starters. Oh, that's a bad choice. If I choose a serial number that is not, well, I can't win for losing. If I choose a serial number that is covered by ADP, you will immediately get this ADP covered badge here at the top so that you know it's covered before you submit the ticket. Additionally, if we have this information, it will be filled in, and the asset information um, will be hard coded into the system. So whatever you provide up front will be validated when the device arrives, and we'll fill in additional characteristics as we go. And that stuff will sit here for you, so you won't have to fill all that in. At the bottom, this is pretty straightforward. You're just selecting the issues. And so these are those comma separated values that appear at the end of the ticket name. You can select however many you have. One thing that you'll notice for ADP covered devices explicitly or exclusively is that there is a theft fire button. And when you select that, if you're indicating that your device was lost in a fire or was stolen, it's going to ask you to provide the report to support that. You can upload that immediately here and it'll be available to us so that there's no delay in processing the claim for getting this device replaced. Additionally, for ADP devices, there is a toggle for accidental and not accidental. This is just asking you to confirm whether or not the break, to the best of your knowledge, was an accidental break or a not accidental break. And there's some clarification there with an info tooltip as well if you need that. Last but not least, you will describe the issue. I'm going to take this off so I can submit that with some ease, but the device is broken. Perfect level of detail, exactly what we like to hear. This last blank gives you the capacity to tell us whether or not you're sending an accessory in with your device that you want to make sure is not lost. So let's say for some reason you're sending your Apple Pencil in here. We want to keep those things together. So once you've identified all of this information, you can hit submit repair ticket and it's gonna, oh, there you go. It's gonna submit this ticket for you, give you this confirmation message, and then it will link you directly to your ticket record. So if we go to this ticket record, this is the brand new one that we just submitted. You'll get a lot of granular detail here. So number one, on any individual ticket record that you can click on from this table, you'll see the stage that it's in. You'll see the description that you provided. You'll get some basic details: when this was created, who submitted it, which issues you selected, accessories that came with it. If it's ADP, you'll get this damage classification as well. And then in the asset card, you'll also get this ADP covered with some additional asset details. As the repair progresses, you'll start to see charges show up here. So for folks who have been ADP customers with us before, one significant improvement here is that you probably know getting visibility into your ADP repair tickets is impossible or next to impossible. This system will overcome that issue. So you'll be able to see all of your repair tickets, regardless of whether or not the device is covered via ADP. Obviously, for the ad hoc repairs, for those not covered, you'll be invoiced for those repair services. For those of you who have ADP coverage with us, you won't receive that invoice, but you will be able to see a charges table down there. Let me see if I can find a ticket really quickly that has some charges on it so that you all can see what that looks like. I think this is one that has it. There you go. So you'll be able to get this nice little charges table. And I know a handful of districts like to see that information just in case they need to reconcile that against some sort of budget or work with families on that kind of thing. So that information will be there for you, and you'll see the status update as the ticket moves forward. So that's what that looks like from an individual repair ticket standpoint. Next, which is probably the most exciting feature that we have been working toward for quite a long time, is the ability to bulk import your tickets. So we are working to extend this limitation, but right now, until we can get batch processing set up, you can import a total of 150 tickets at a time. We still recommend that your tickets are submitted as the devices have these issues and that you don't hold them. Districts holding on to devices means that we get a huge influx at once, and that's difficult for turn time, both for you and for our other schools that we work with. But if you'd like to submit them, in larger batches than one at a time, you definitely have the ability to do that, whatever works best for you. When you click that button, it'll bring you to this wizard on the screen, which will walk you through a handful of things. So, number one, we can accept a CSV or an Excel file. If you need a template, you can click this download template button and it will actually produce an Excel file for you. I'm gonna pull this up. The file looks like this. Obviously, it won't have information pre-filled. I went ahead and filled this in just so that we could use it for testing. But you'll see you've got all of these columns. Some of them are and aren't required. And the help text in that portal window will show you which ones are required and which ones aren't. But you have this template, and there's a whole bunch of validation text and stuff happening here. So as you click into these columns, you'll see the information that you need to help support you in filling this out. You'll get multi-select options when there are a fixed number of choices that you can make, so on and so forth. And so this will allow you to enter rows, one row per ticket, to tell us all the information that we need to know so that you can import your tickets successfully. Once you have filled that out, you have this information here at the bottom that you can check against. So you can see these are the columns that absolutely have to have a value. Here are some optional ones. When you're filling out device types, we have a drop down here for this. The issues that you can select from, the multi-select issues, right now that is to be typed in and comma separated. That felt easier than providing a gigantic list of options, especially because Excel has a hard time with combining options and created a comma separated value in one cell. So right now you can type these in, but don't worry if you're not entirely sure what these need to be. We have a way to correct that after you get further than this, but wanted to make sure everyone knew that was there. So you've got your export or your import file, you're ready to go. You click this, select the file that you want to import, and pretty quickly, the system is going to parse through all the rows of data on your spreadsheet. And so this is a really exciting thing. Rather than needing to pull your sheet down and correct errors or run the import and hope that it works and get an error report after the fact, you're getting inline real-time validation of the values that are in your spreadsheet. So one of the things you'll notice is that lines 1 and 3 have the same serial number. You can't submit two individual tickets for the same device in one import. That doesn't make sense. They should all be one ticket. So it's going to throw that error for you to tell you this is a duplicate serial. And you can fix this in line. So the moment I add another character, it validates this line because it's no longer a duplicate with this one, and they're both good to go. Similarly, even for these drop-down types, you'll note that I had BlackBerry in here as the device that we wanted to fix. Um, Unfortunately, we do not currently service BlackBerry devices, so that is not a recognized value, but it will let you choose the one that you care about. So we're going to say this is an Apple MacBook, a MacBook Torch, which sounds like a really cool device model. And then lastly, you'll see this list of choices. This is not an acceptable option for those issues, but we know that this is an LCD problem, so we're going to type in LCD, and immediately this is validated. Once you have fixed all of your data and you feel good about it, you can hit Start Import. And one of the things that I noted earlier was that we're working to allow for larger upload sizes so that we can process in batches. At the moment, we're still limited to that 150. But either way, once the import is done, you'll get this nice table that confirms the success of all the tickets you wanted to create. It shows the related serial, and then it gives you hyperlinks to all of these tickets. From there, you can either go back to the repair, you can click specifically into the ticket, or you can choose to import more, and it'll take you right back to the screen. So that should reduce a ton of the headache and time-consuming work that I know a ton of you are having to do and are accustomed to having to do. We don't like that either, so we're really, really excited to roll out the bulk import feature for you. All right, so that is everything for repairs. We talked about this a little bit, but the other side of that coin is assets. And so, as I said, assets is the place that you'll be able to access a record of any device we've ever fixed or that we might fix if you were on an ADP plan with us. So we will import these serials into the system for you in advance if you're an ADP customer. Otherwise, as you create repair tickets for brand new devices that we've not seen before, it will create that asset in the system and associate the ticket to it. As you're looking through this table, you get kind of a light version of what exists in the repairs table. You have some search criteria, so you can search the serial number and it will update in real time with the serial. You can look by device type. You can search by manufacturer. You can also move around and sort these columns just as you could in the other table. You can also choose to hide columns if there's stuff that you need or don't need, the same as always. And then similarly, the export function works the same way in so much as it will respect your filters, but it won't respect the pagination. So it will bring you all the records regardless of how the pagination looks, as long as they're within your filter criteria. One thing you'll notice here is we have this maximum repair limit column. For folks who are ADP customers, you're pretty, I think, accustomed to having kind of a replacement value for the device. There's an amount that you paid at which a repair that costs more would be a total loss, and you would be paid out via the underwriter to make sure that you can purchase a new device. That's what this holds. Similarly, for our ad hoc customers who don't have an ADP plan with us, a lot of our districts will set maximum out of pockets. So if the repair is going to exceed $150, we don't want to do that. So let's just hold. And in that instance, this is where that number would go here for you as well. So we have visibility into what those maximum repair prices are, and they can differ based on the device type or model or whatever other criteria that you all wish to set. So that will be there and available for you. From this page, you can click into any individual asset. So let's click into this one. Man, I'm really trying to find one that isn't ADP covered, but I set a bunch that way to test. So this is not helping us. Okay, this will work out fine. We'll go back to the top one. So what you'll see here is you'll get this nice card that has all your device data. If it is ADP covered or if it has an active manufacturer warranty and we are aware of that information, that stuff will appear here in this card. So not only will you see that your coverage is active and you'll have this nice green badge, you'll also get your coverage dates. So if you're ever curious how long your contract is to go on a particular device or subset of devices, you can look here and you can find that from and to date to say how long this coverage will work. And then down at the bottom, you have some basic repair info. So again, we have that maximum repair limit. The repair history count is going to show you how many times the device has come into us and a ticket has been created for it. So again, we're going back to January 1st of 2023. So if you've had a device longer than that and we've seen it before, any tickets before that date may not apply to this count, but any tickets after that date up through today and in the future will apply here. So if we've seen a device 3 times, you'll see that it's been repaired 3 times. And that can be your red alert to give that kid a wooden block or something. Um, Either way, from this page, you have the start a repair button, or from this page, you can hover and you have the start a repair button. And clicking that will again take you to this form and pre-fill this information for you, once again, making this process a little bit easier. So that is assets. With repairs, with assets, and with everything else, we do have quite a large, hopeful dream for what all of these things turn into. So we're really excited to be able to offer this to you all just as a district that works with us and not for a paid fee. We're excited to be able to offer you, even if it's some light asset management here, and hopefully we can expand upon that in the future. That is absolutely our goal. All right, these next few navigation tabs are a little bit less dense, so they'll be quicker for us to run through. First one is documents. Documents consists of any important files and resources that we collectively need to work together and to operate things on both of our sides. So if we have an MSA in place with your district, that will appear here. You can click that link and it'll take you right to the copy of this clearly very legitimate MSA. Similarly, you can download those either from this view page or from clicking this button. If you ever need our W-9 for any of the financial processing or whatever, what have you on your side, you can find that there. You're also able to provide us your W-9 and your tax exempt form directly in the portal. And so this will help us as we turn over year to year. We typically look to get these updated documents. It allows us to continue to make sure that we can get things tax free for on your behalf and work with you all to make sure that you're getting what you need and what you are applicable for as a school district. So you can find that information here to see which version there is, and you're always welcome to choose a file, pick the one that you want. This is looking for document files specifically, and then upload, and it will add it to this field here for you. So that way you have visibility into whatever documents we have on file with you and vice versa. We're going to skip the admin tab. We'll come back to it here in a second towards the end. But the next tab is the resources tab. And so this one's probably the most helpful as we look to roll this new portal out to all of our users. So this tab is really filled with tons of guides and videos and references that are tailored explicit or exclusively to your role in the portal. So again, we'll talk about user roles here in a bit, but any of the resources you see here are intended to be tailored for actions and capabilities that your role is able to access within the portal. So at the top, you'll see PDF resources. We have quite a few, including one that will explain these user roles in great detail so that you know exactly what each one has access to. But other things that teach you how to take actions in the portal here. So you can you can find these, download these, share these, whatever that looks like, to make sure that you and your teammates are able to use the portal successfully. At the bottom, if you are more of a visual learner and not a read a document learner, we also have videos that walk you through these things. We have the famous Mel Oliver front and center right there. Um, I know all the folks on this call have as much appreciation for Mel, if not more so than we do. So but these will take you to YouTube videos that are tailored to all of the steps that are required to do whatever action the video is for. So you're able to click through these and find what you need in that way. As we go, as we add more functionality and features, as things change and are upgraded over time, we will continue to add more resources here and make sure that they're scoped to your user role as you work through the portal. Next, we have a pretty standard contact us page. This page is giving you basic company details. So at a high level, how do you reach Secured Tech? If you have worked with us really ever, you should have a Secured Tech Solutions team member who works particularly with your account, you'll see that person's information here, so that you can reach out to them with ease. Additionally, though, if you have any other reason to contact us or you just don't feel like sending an email, whatever that looks like, you can use this send us a message form here. There are a couple different high level types of requests. If you're having technical issues with anything in the portal, if you need any sort of general support for existing orders or repairs or whatever that is, you're always welcome to throw that information here. And then lastly, if you have feedback for the customer portal, we would love to hear that from you. Again, we have so many things planned, but we'd love to get feedback on things that you'd like to see or things that you wish worked in a different way. This is a great place for that. You tell us what type of request, you type in your need, you can attach files if you have any relevant ones, and then you just send that message, and it will create a ticket for our customer success team so that they can help you with your request as quickly as possible. Next to last but not least is this account page. So what you'll see here, this is just basics about you and the organization that you're working with or assigned to in the system. So you'll get some basic information about yourself here at the top. Phone and email are tied to some of the validation steps that we're doing depending on what data we're able to use. So if those need to be changed, just reach out to us and we can update that and make sure you don't lose access to anything in the portal. But you are able to update your name and your job title for the time being. You can also see your role here in the portal, regardless of what it is. And then down below, you have my organization. So my organization is tied to the company or the district account with which you are associated. So districts are structured in such a way that we have a primary district account. So, for example, Warsaw at the district level would be this umbrella or this parent account, and then individual schools within Warsaw's district would be set up as child accounts of that parent. So, depending on your user role and your the needs that you have out of the portal, you may be assigned at the district level, which allows you to see all the data for all child companies underneath. Or you may be assigned to a child company because you are a technician or a representative of this specific high school or this specific middle school, for example. Um, so that will dictate what you see here. Members of the parent organization will see the parent and all the children. Members of the child organization will see their organization details specifically. Regardless, no matter whether you're part of a parent or a child organization, and as far as how that is assigned, you will always see all portal administrators, both at your child level and at the parent level. So if you need someone who has portal administrator access to make a change on your behalf, which we'll talk about in just a second in the admin tab, this is where you can see all of those people. So again, whether they're with your individual school child company or they're with the district at large as a parent company, you will see them here. And those are the folks you can reach out to make changes to your user role or permissions, what have you. All right, last but certainly not least, we have the admin tab. So the admin tab is exactly what it sounds like. You can see all of your users and do some user management. You can see the user roles as they currently exist here. So administrators, as discussed earlier, they have full portal access. You'll see all of these navigation menu items. Even if someone were to grab a hyperlink of something that they're not supposed to have access to for any of these roles further to the right, if they're not an administrator, they won't be able to access it if it's not scoped to that user role that they're in. We have finance managers that we have some functionality that's coming out probably in the next month or two in particular that will be of interest to the finance managers, being able to see orders and eventually invoices as well. Users can see their tickets and some basic account settings, and then technicians can submit new repair tickets and view existing repair requests. And then none is just the turn off access. So as an admin, you have the ability to choose what level of access your folks need. You are able to invite new users without asking us to do that for you. So You just need to know that person's first and last name, their user email, and then the role that you want them in. This invite function is going to validate that the user's email address does match your organization's domain. So subdomains are acceptable. We have quite a few districts that have different subdomains for individual schools, for example, but it's looking at that overarching email domain to ensure that this is a person who should have access to this data. So it's going to validate against that, even if you try to invite them yourself. You're also able to see this table of existing users down here at the bottom. It's going to show you who the user is, their email address, and the role that they currently sit in. Um, you can choose to update these people either by typing in their email address here. You can update their job title, or you can hit edit down here and it will pre-fill all of their information as it currently exists. And so if you just needed to update a job title, you could do that. If you need to change the user's role or remove them from the portal, you can do that as well. And so making this change and hitting update, which I won't do because I don't want to kick Tasha out of our portal right now, it will remove their access and it will shortly afterward revoke their access to the authentication platform as well and delete their account. And so you can feel safe in knowing that immediately what will happen is it will remove the scopes that they're supposed to have. So even if they attempt to sign in, they'll just get a 404 error that says you don't have access to this information. And within a couple seconds to a couple minutes, it will actually remove them completely from the authentication platform, removing their credentials from the system. So if they attempt to sign in, it will just say that there's no user recognized with these credentials. So you have all of this visibility that you can utilize as an administrator to make sure that things in your portal are working the way that you want and that people have the access that they need. Last, and certainly not least, the most requested feature by our beloved CEO, Nate Holmes. We have a dark mode. So if you are someone who prefers to work in dark mode, you can do that across all of these pages. I am a dark mode person, typically not on a desktop, but I understand the desire. So that is there for any users who would like it. Additionally, if for any reason you need to see the privacy policy or acceptable use policy or terms and conditions, all of that stuff is linked down here for you so that you can find that information. I believe that sums up everything in version 1 of the customer portal. As stated, we have quite a few intended features that are on the short list for being added in over the next month to couple of months, which we're very, very excited about. So please know that we care deeply about your all's feedback. We were fortunate to pilot a couple different versions of the portal with a couple different districts and got some feedback from them, which was really, really helpful. And so we are super excited to roll this out to you. We feel really confident in the value that it's going to bring. But it is also our first customer facing portal and it's the first production iteration of it. So we think that it works really well and we've done extensive testing, but we always want to know if you guys find any issues or again, if there are features that you'd like to see added or things that don't quite work the way that you're expecting them to. With that, we're about 15 minutes short of the 1 o'clock mark, which is perfect. I wanted to make sure that we had some time for questions. Perfect. First one from Steph. So, Steph, that's actually a great question that applies right now to you all, but I think could apply to a lot of our other districts that we work with. So, you guys use an asset management system that can hold repair tickets. So, Steph, for you specifically, we already have this mapping worked out. So, for the time being, it will function the same way as Repair Shopper. We'll need to get with you in the near future to make sure that we have the email alerts from your system set to go where it needs to go on ours, but your system emails will be captured by our system and then all the information will be parsed and the tickets will be created in the format that we're expecting them. So that is the first version of this. There won't be any data pushing back into your system. But for everyone on the call, we are working actively to build integrations with Tech Director Toolbox, with One-to-One Plus, with Incident IQ. And so the basic version of this, if you're a district who, like Steph, manages assets and other things in a different system, we are happy to, as a baseline, receive system emails from that system. And as long as we know the format that those emails will come in, we can accept those as new tickets into our system. Um, and yep, Sarah touched on that for Steph specifically. Beyond that, though, we are actively working with those different platforms to try and get an actual integration set up such that as we move tickets in our system, you will see those updates in yours. We're very open to working with those platforms. I think some of them, rightfully so and understandably, are particular about their security and what they allow to be written into their system as opposed to just being pulled from their system. So that is definitely a work in progress, and we hope we'll see some promising results over the next several months in working with those platforms. But in the meantime, we can recreate your existing experience, Steph, and we're happy to do that for other districts. If you have a system in which you enter tickets internally, that can then shoot a system message out with the details of that need. So, great question. Are there any others? All right, let it breathe for just another second or two. If anyone has any questions that you'd prefer to ask separately or privately from the conversation, we're happy to take those questions from you at a different time, but do want to make sure that we can get that set up. Steph, I would say that is correct, technically speaking, and that's completely up to you, because your system messages come from the same email address every time and have the same format every time. Um, it doesn't. I don't think it matters who submits tickets on your end. We can take those in and create the ticket automatically. But I will defer to you, especially as we look to roll out new features. The features in particular that are on our short list are our visibility into orders and then invoices. So for folks who are ordering parts or products or software or whatever that is from us and working with us on those things, we're working to roll out the ability to see in real time the status of your order as well as the status of shipments that are going to go out the door. So that way you all can have better visibility into that instead of having to email us and ask where things are or get emails from us telling you. Um, you'll be able to check that at any time for yourself. So yeah, Steph, I would say in the short term, it would make sense to give your techs access to the portal and just give them the technician role. They'll be able to see their tickets and get those updates since it's not pushing back into your system currently. Um, but this again isn't something that we'll have to set up for you. You can invite them yourself, or we can work to invite them all for you in advance, whatever that looks like. But they'll be able to click in and see relative tickets. One of the things I do want to point out as we're staring down the last 10 minutes or so, during the pilot group and some of the feedback we've gotten, one of the big things is wanting to figure out how we can have a little bit more flexibility in what technicians and other folks can see. And particularly what I mean by that is we know that there are districts who have technicians who oversee a couple schools, but not all schools, or even some tech directors who, may serve as a part-time director for this district and that district. And so in those instances where you need more than just one child company access, but less than full district access, we are working on a way to provide additional flexibility there that again administrators would be able to control to discern, hey, this person needs to see data for this, this, and this. but not for the district as a whole. And then Jeff, to answer your question, after this call, and I'll actually go ahead and switch to that slide here. So after this call, we are going to work to send out, oh, yep, Sarah may have already answered it, but we're going to send out invitations to everyone. Those invitations will come from support@securedtech.com. So just be prepared for that. I would say be on the lookout for that over the next hour or so. Make sure that that doesn't accidentally get trapped somewhere that you don't intend it to. But it should come from our support at email address, and it will be your and any other users that have previously been designated. And for all of you on the call, that means we looked at all of your existing contacts in the legacy repair system and set them to have this access once we turn it on. So any of the techs, and Mel or Sarah, I welcome you to correct me if I'm saying that incorrectly. But we looked at existing technicians who have access to Repair Shopper, and set them up to have access once we send out the invitations. So that was a great question, Jeff. I think hopefully between me and Sarah, that answers it for you. Um, Perfect. Yep. Sarah's got that covered. So yeah, after today's call, you'll receive emails from us with your portal access. Um, we will do that as soon as we jump off here. So again, sending out a bunch of invites at once, it may take the system a second to produce those. So forgive us if it doesn't actually show up right by 1 p.m. But it will come out as soon as we jump off this call. We'll turn that on, and you all should start seeing those invitations come through. As soon as you have access, you're welcome to set up your account, and you will have all of the access that you see here based on your user role. And then shortly after, we will also send out the recording of this webinar to everyone. So if you were present and you'd like to pass it along to some team members who weren't great, you'll get that. You'll be able to do that. And then if you signed up for the webinar but ended up not being able to attend, you'll be on the list to receive this as well. Beyond that, like I said, our team is really happy to answer any questions or assist you in any way that you need. We would love your feedback. We're super excited about this, and we really appreciate you all giving us an hour of your time, especially during the short holiday week. With all that said, we hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We look forward to uh, going through this experience with you all and seeing what we can do to make your lives easier. Um, Thank you so much. Have a wonderful 4th of July weekend, and be safe. And we're excited for what's to come.